You must always ask yourself, what am I getting and what am I losing? Right? But if you make one-dimensional decisions, that's the point. One-dimensional decision making where you say that having children is an absolute deal breaker. Well, you're missing the entire equation. You cannot make a decision on something as complex as love and relationships by having one criteria. It's as silly as a woman saying, well, if he doesn't make above a certain amount of money, he's not in. If he does make above a certain amount of money, he is. Well, no, because there are bad men who make a lot of money and there are good men who make a little bit less. So it doesn't mean that that shouldn't factor in. Like, you can make that a variable, but when you sort of make these simplified statements, it's kind of silly. It's just really kind of silly. And so on behalf of all the kids, I was a knucklehead kid that had a single mother. I just want to say, I don't think it's all that terrible. I personally think that having a child there that looks up to you and honors you and is there for you, and a woman that loves the shit out of you, and if she's working her best, her absolute best to be a quality woman for you, I'll take that over some woman that doesn't have children in a second, right? It does, so I'm not saying that you can't find good women in both categories. What I'm saying is that the rhetoric is getting a little bit abusive. And also they say that you can judge the quality of a community by how they treat their women. Like, there's no other community on earth. You can tell me which one you can find where they have this much disrespect for their women. So if you want to understand why Black people are losing as a community, why your men are in the garbage, some of them, why some of your men can't get ahead, some of your women are struggling, it's because we have this weird thing where we somehow think we can disrespect the Black woman and still succeed. You cannot succeed while still disrespecting the Black woman in aggregate, because the Black woman is the key to your existence. So as you sort of work through all of this, just process it in the right way. And if you want to know my bias is that I did actually help to raise children that were not my own. I consider that a complete blessing. I know that when I'm older, they're going to care about me. They're going to be there for me. I was there for them maybe when nobody else was. That maybe their fathers should have been there, but I got an opportunity to do that, and I don't consider it to be a burden. I consider it to be an awesome opportunity to be there, not just for another human being, but to be there for my community. I don't think that we're going to succeed as a people if we have a bunch of men who all feel that all the children who were unfortunate enough to not have a daddy in the house are just worthless and garbage and they're a piece of crap because their mama can't give me no ass. I think that's kind of silly and it's very immature for sure. So don't get caught up in that type of thinking, man. I'm just talking to the intelligent.
What's good, YouTube? It's your MC, Mr. Malcolm, back in the building. Thank you again for joining me. Much appreciated. Always appreciate your viewership. First things first, leave a like, okay, please. If you want to, you can watch the entire video and then leave a like. Please feel free to comment if you do have something to say, anything that's on your mind, anything that you want to get off your chest. And then also be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. So you just seen the video that we played with Dr. Boyce Watkins, right? When something has to be said, it must be stated, family. Certain people should just stick to their professions, right? So Boyce Watkins says that for Black men who don't avoid, or Black men who avoid single mothers, they are disrespecting the Black community. Okay, aside from him not being more wrong, it's just this goes to show why we have blue pill and red pill, right? Again, for those of you who may be new to this space, who may be unaware, okay, blue pill and red pill is an analogy. It's just like it sounds. It's a matrix analogy, okay? It's an analogy for men who take the red pill and you wake up to what we know as the way that the real world works, aside from the things that they told us as young men coming up in a gynocentric society. Gynocentric simply means everything is catered to women. Everything is favored in women. Everything is slated to the favor of women, and regardless of whether you believe that or not, a quick look at the statistics and the laws and the way things exist today will prove what's going on. I mean, everything from family court to marital laws, okay, alimony, child custody cases, everything from, OnlyFans, everything, right? I mean, it's needless to say the many ways that women are catered to in our society. The red pill is for men who wake up to the reality of things that have taken place. And blue pills for those who stay, um, essentially we could say sleep or dormant to female nature. Boyce Watkins, as much as I love him, would fit into the category of a blue pill man, right? So he still is one of those who, I won't say puts women on a pedestal because I don't know him personally, but he is certainly one of those who has a more he still holds women in a certain regard. Well, Boyce, come on, man, you're killing me, brother. So Boyce read off a list of some random YouTuber's list. I don't know who the individual is. I'll find out. The man had a list of reasons why real men. This is this man's title of the list. Okay, so this is not anybody else's designation of the list. What he self-titled his list is the reasons why real men avoid single women. Okay, it's not to say that everybody who even agrees with his list is going to agree with the title, right? Or even what's a real man. You know what I'm saying? A real man, defining a real man can be a subjective experience, a subjective thing. So we're not here to debate that. But so Boyce literally goes through half of the list, and before he goes through half of this man's list, he's already had a predetermined in his mind that the man is wrong, that something's wrong with the man, and then you ultimately see he goes on to say that any man who avoids single mothers is disrespecting the black community. So the points that he got through on this man's list were: 1, she's never available; 2, you are not a priority; 3, she thinks the world revolves around her; 4, she's emotionally unavailable; 5, the ex-baby daddy is always around, he's always there; 6, the kids work against you; 7, the kids will hate you. He didn't even go through the rest of the list, okay? Simply stating, can we just state and get it out the way of the obvious that a lot of these things on the list are true, right? Story time. I've dated a couple single mothers in my time, right? Several things on this list are true. She's never available. That's subjective. That's a case by case basis. You're not a priority. That much is certainly true. Even if she makes you a priority, you always fall second place. And many a times, especially if she's not a woman who is mature, you'll be made to, regardless of the age now, okay? If she's not a woman who's mature and doesn't have her role in the children's role in a routine established in their lives, you will definitely not be a priority. You always fall second to the children, and much of it is understandable, but again, this is reason why many men avoid single mothers, right? Goes without saying. Number 3, thinks the world revolves around her. Not necessarily. That's kind of subjective also. So that's case by case. The women that I were with didn't necessarily think that the world revolved around them. However, but at the same time, what you do see that tends to occur is that they think that their time and everything that they have is more valuable than yours. And it's not necessarily said that they go around and they exude this so that they even speak in this manner, but it's just the way that they behave. So they might as well say it, right? Because the way that they behave, the way that they conduct themselves, it definitely gives off an air of that their time, everything that they have is more valuable than what yours is as a man. And so that's just another reason it's not beneficial for a single man to get with a single mother. Number 4, she's emotionally unavailable. This is again a case by case basis. I can certainly see it being a situation where many women, especially young single mothers, would be emotionally unavailable because they're giving so much of that time to their children. And then, many single women have this mindset of, what are you towards a man anyway? They have this mindset of, oh, what can you do for me, right? Like, I'm not here for you. You are literally here to serve me. And what is it that you can provide for me? What is it that you can offer me that would make me even want to deal with you? So again, is that fair or foul? You be the judge. Single men, I know what we gonna think. Number 5, the ex-baby daddy is always there. This is very true. Now, I've never had to deal with any baby daddy drama, fortunately for myself. I don't even really care to deal with that, and nor do I don't even play those types of games. You feel what I'm saying? If it's me, in my mind, in my perfect world, those roles should be already established between the woman and whoever the ex-baby daddy is. So regardless of whatever this, regardless of whatever the situation is with the children, which hopefully it's a great situation, it's a platonic situation to where all parties involved are have the best interest of the children in mind. However, if that's not the case, those roles should still be clearly defined, whereas the man is not an interference. However, we know more often, well, I can't say more often than not, but many times that's not the case. Many times the baby mom is still involved sexually with the baby dad. Many times the baby dad is still around. He has more say so than he should. Many times he causes, anguish upon the lives of those who are in the lives of his children. He's jealous. It's just a plethora of things that come along with that. So that's another one. Number 6, the kids work against you. This is very much the case. Again, it's probably not the case in every situation. But again, the kids, they don't see what I realized in my time and in my experience in dating single mothers is, the children, they have this kind of wall built up against you, but they rightfully should, right? You're not their father. They don't owe you anything. These children don't owe you anything. So while you as an adult, you're coming in the picture thinking, hey, I should get respect. I should get whatever, regardless of whatever it is you're doing or providing. These children, they don't know you. They don't owe you anything. You are not their blood father. So you have to look at it from their perspective. From the child's perspective, even though they're not the ones who are most, who should get to say so in the matter, from the child's perspective, they still, well, first of all, the children still have to be considered, right? These are facts. And secondly, from the child's perspective, the child is looking at it like, I don't know this person, right? And I have to live in an environment or get comfortable with this person who is not my father and who I'm not used to. And from a realistic, objective standpoint, I mean, you really can't expect a child to have to adapt to a kind of situation like that, especially in a quick amount of time. It's just not going to happen. Number 7, the kids will hate you. Again, that's subjective. That's not necessarily the case either. But to show the point that, Boyce definitely borders on, not even borders, he's blue pill. Boyce Watkins is still someone who, as those of us in the manosphere would say, he doesn't really understand female nature. He probably puts women on a pedestal. You can't use, just because of the fact that somebody was raised in a single parent household, as shame, okay, or as ammunition against them to say that, hey, if your preference is not to be with single mothers, that you're wrong for your preference. It's the same way as he states in his own video, that if women have preferences for men who make certain amounts of money or don't make certain amounts of money, right? You have women who make 6 figures and they will frown upon the man who makes 60, 70, 80,000. That's their prerogative. The same way it's a man's prerogative for him to see a woman who already has children and not desire to either date her or be involved with her. And I mean, we just got to respect it. But I mean, for Boyce, for him to come on here, man, and just be like, you disrespecting the black community and just totally act like he doesn't get the situation. I mean, that's sad, man. And then he plays a video of a woman who says that Kevin Samuels is a detriment to the black community, which couldn't be further from the truth. She says that he has lowered essentially the value of black women and made black women less desirable in the minds of men.
The value in each other, the true value. Kevin Samuels is somebody that's very popular right now. I think he's one of the worst things for our culture right now because
I'm gonna second that.
Because he does nothing but tear us apart. He marginalizes single mothers. So therefore now you are perpetuating the cycle of a single mother because you have men who could come in and be a good, what they call it, Joseph, a good stepfather, as they say is Joseph, to help to create the family unit. But what he's done is he's made single mothers such a distasteful thing that men don't even want to come in and create a unit with a woman that already has a kid. There are so many men who have said that, one, he has changed their perspective on dating.
Are you serious?
There are men who now call themselves high value men because they have a place to live, a car to drive, and a job.
That's normal.
See, this just goes further to show the things that Kevin Samuels says that prove to be true is that women don't listen. Many people don't listen. Because if you listen to what he's saying, he's literally said that men come up and thank him for saying some of the things that he says on his show. So what does that mean? That means that men are already having these conversations amongst themselves, right? It's just the fact that women were oblivious to it. So the fact that women will now come and say, oh, you're making black women less or black single mothers less desirable, It's just not the case. It's just a man can have his preferences, but see, you know what it is? Is as a man, you're frowned upon for having preferences, whereas a woman can have all the preferences in the world. You can't be too broke. You can't be too lazy. You can't be too short. You can't be too anything over and above and beyond. I mean, it's amazing the amount of double standards that exist, but all of them can exist for black women. But yet as a man, if you have standards, now somehow you're in the wrong. We got to get away from this line of thinking, family. And as a man, you definitely shouldn't be adhering to this line of thinking. I mean, I wish I would let somebody shame me or make me feel bad for whatever my preference is. And please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying that as a man, any kind of man, whether you're black man, period, that you ultimately have to avoid single mothers, because ultimately, if you decide to be with a single mother, it is your prerogative. It is your choice. But at the same time, you should not be shamed for going against that or for having a preference of wanting to start your own family. I mean, think about it for all the years. And for Boyce Watkins, this is very hypocritical, because he was the same one who put up an article or a post, or basically made it a point to make a post about one of the quickest ways to become broke is to be a single parent, right? Is to have a bunch of children, a bunch of children, you know, outside of wedlock. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that was catered to the men, right? But then in the same video, he goes on to say, in the very beginning, in fact, that if you're a black man who has multiple children by multiple mothers, that any woman who gets with you is not getting a whole man, but yet you're on here advocating for single mothers. So that should go to tell you everything you know about his blue pill conditioning. Again, love Boyce to death, great at financial advice, but some people should just stick to what they're good at, because stepping into other lanes when you clearly don't understand the dynamics and you clearly are biased, but just understand, Boyce is definitely way off base here. So, you know, family, y'all tell me what you think. Is he right? Is Boyce right or wrong? Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you want to get in touch with me, I will leave my email below. I know I always say that, never leave the email. Definitely leave the email this time. And I'll leave a video link to Boyce's full video here, what he says here. So let me know what you think, fam. I look forward to hearing what y'all can say. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. The likes do help with the algorithm. And again, thank you for tuning in. Shalom, family. Peace. Y'all be easy. Until next time.